Hello, Adil sir. Wish you a very happy new year.
Happy New Year to you too, and I'm always happy to speak to ST Times. So,
Great. So I know everyone knows this. You are right now quarantining in a Delhi hotel for 7 days, and this is not a great time for everyone. Some people have been down with COVID, so they are recovering. But lucky that you tested negative, but still this quarantine. So what are you doing? What's keeping you occupied in the hotel room?
well, first of all, I'm struggling with my jet lag. So waking up in odd hours and sleeping in odd hours. So waking up at 2:30 in the morning, falling asleep as soon as I have my little food, and wake up around 2:30 in the afternoon, and then things like this, what we are doing right now, had been happening since the day I landed here, and keeping in touch with family. My wife and our son, they have gone to the US to meet their grandparents, and my mom is in Assam, so catching up with friends, reading scripts and synopsises. So pretty busy actually.
It's been a rather scary 2020, but sir, looking at your your schedule, you shot for what, two films amid the pandemic in England. One was Bell Bottom in Scotland, and then Footprints on Water that you've just come back from. Like it's rather brave and courageous, I would say, that you took that plunge and you have to take that kind of risk. So how has the experience been? I know it's nothing like earlier, but I want to hear it from you firsthand.
Yeah, no, I shot three films actually, one
Okay.
in Assam, in
Okay.
between Bell Bottom and this one. So quite busy in a way. And it is that I had been talking about it to my friends as well, that there are two things. One is that you take all the precautions that you can, which are prescribed, and maybe little more. And if the presidents and prime ministers of countries can get it, nobody is safe that way,
Right.
you see. So you can only take precautions and keeping the fear element away from it. Because fear, according to my studies, also as a person who acts, deals with emotions, and according to also our ancient understanding, especially Ayurvedic understanding and also mystic understanding, fear is one thing that you don't need anymore. You know, and fear causes the immune system huge havoc. As soon as you are scared, the immune system goes down,
Yeah.
and immune system goes down, your emotions go down. So it's a downhill slope. So I had been one of the luckiest guys, I think, on the planet, that I had been taught very well by my teachers, and I had been working on this particular emotion called fear for a long time, so that I don't have any. But I'm not saying I'm out of it, but I'm pretty much, I can detect as soon as the fear element comes into my system, and and not entertain that. So when you don't, when you are almost fearless, so you are without the arrogance, but with gratitude and humility. When you operate from there, things started, they start happening differently. So that's what I have noticed, and all these years, maybe last 15, 20 years. So I'm not scared, but I'm extremely cautious, but without the fear part of it. So shooting for Bell Bottom, when they asked me to come, I said, yeah, sure. And friends were like, are you sure? I said, yeah. I mean, one need to work. One
Yeah.
needs to work, because you can't just be scared and stay home. You take precautions and you go and shoot. And similarly, this film called Footprints on Water, it's a beautiful and very intense story of a father who's looking
Yeah.
for his daughter. So yeah,
And you're working with a debut director, if I'm not wrong, for this one.
yes,
She's a
yes, yes.
so a lot of people in the industry, especially Bollywood. I know within our industry we have a lot of new directors coming in, and all kind of actors do collaborate. But when you're working in the West, without knowing someone's sensibilities and probably their body of work or how they've been in. You don't know them. It's really really like a fresh collaboration. Is there
It
any
is.
apprehension, or is it like a challenge that okay, I have taken that plunge and I've surrendered to the deputy director who's going to take me forward?
Totally, totally what you just said. Because once I decide to do, this is what I've learned from my mistakes. Like when you doubt a teacher, you should not go and learn from the teacher. This is also have read in the mystic books. That's why I always tell my friends and my students that please read all the great masters who are born in this land, in this amazing land called India, this subcontinent actually. That once you decided to take someone as your teacher, just completely surrender and you'd learn faster. And it's very important. So I'm a good student uh, in terms of I'm not saying I come out with high marks, but I'm saying a good student is who is obedient. So do as the teachers say, and then you will benefit. And whatever, and a good teacher would say that do what I say, and forget when you leave me, and whatever remains will be yours. So I do submit to my director in spite of the age gap and experience gaps and all that. And that's the only way that one can work, I guess, as far as I'm concerned. I loved the script, and I loved when I met her, when she was describing what her vision is about the film and the truth or truths of the script, of the story, of her personal experiences, what she has seen, growing up in the UK, about undocumented immigrants. So I realized that she has seen things from very close
Yeah.
proximity, and she had been first AD in a lot of films, so
Okay,
she knows about filmmaking
that's great.
and a good cast. So I just submitted, and I think I had taken a very, very right decision in order to, when I realized that after finishing the film, that she is very good. Natalia Shams, she is excellent. And her sister wrote the script, Neeta. Yeah.
Adil sir, you started your acting journey in '86, if I'm not wrong, with a lot of work in Assamese cinema and regional films, and Bollywood got to be blessed with a fine actor like you much later in your trajectory. But 35th year in as an actor, when you look back today, how has this trajectory, this career, this journey been? I mean, I'm sure as you know today, when you look back, gratitude there, but are there things that you wish you would have done differently? Or I know these are like wishful thoughts also that maybe there was social media at that time, or maybe I was identified in Bollywood a little earlier than I am. I probably would have had more body of work in Hindi films as well. What is the feeling like?
Oh, I think that I am one of the luckiest actors in the country because I didn't have to struggle for a minute, you know, in order to act in films, because films came to me. I live in Delhi, and directors came to look for me in Delhi from the day one, from the first film onward, and I never had to look for work. So that, what would you say to that? And I'm blessed, and as I said, you said, of course, I'm grateful, but had I would I wish something had been different? Probably the only thing that I would say that I wish that I would have acted better. you know, I
You're
would
being
have.
humble now.
I would like to redo. I'd like to redo all the roles I've done. So that's the only thing which comes to my mind.
I must say, only a great
Yeah.
actor can say that.
No, I think any actor would look at themselves, and say, "Oh God, what have I done?" It's always, it's always a curiosity to find what is the degree of your truth in the
Yeah.
role, in the moment. that, and the best part is that the depth of truth has no end.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you can go deeper and deeper. So that's why it's not boring. You cannot get bored with
Right.
something which has no limit, because you can always go farther in or up or wide.
Yeah.
So whenever I look back at my earlier, like I yesterday or day before yesterday, lying down in this bed here, I was looking at my few scenes in Life of Pi, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so bad. And I saw my tensions in my fingers. I saw my tension. There is stress in my eyes, and I should have been more relaxed. And so I guess I'm getting better, but it's a long way to go.
No, but Adil, one of the very few actors, in fact, I would say, who's represented India very beautifully on the global map as well. And not one, two cameos here and there, but a lot of credible, substantial films and characters.
Right.
So, having worked in a lot of regional cinemas and Hindi movies and international stint, if I may ask you, which of these industries have offered you like maximum satisfaction in terms of variety and roles? I mean, you've been an actor in all this, yes, but I'm not even asking you to compare. But if you look at
Yeah.
yourself personally, that okay, one has given me the best offers and the variety to portray different kind of roles. What would that be?
I cannot, I can't generalize in terms of industries
Okay.
like Indian film industry or Western film industry, but most of even the scripts that I got from India, I get a lot of scripts which is not good enough, or which does not, those who do not inspire me, but also great scripts I got here, like for example, Mukti Bhavan,
Yeah.
Sunrise, and
Pareeksha.
Pareeksha, and exactly. So you cannot generalize it. There are amazing scripts are written here. I wish more amazing scripts are being written and more time is spent in scripting level. But most of the Western films or from the Western world that I have done, all of them had been good scripts. What do I say? The amount of scripts which come from the West, I would say 90% of them that I have received are pretty good. Some are excellent, and in India, most of the scripts I get to read. I would say that 30% of them are very, very good, and rest of them are not. I am not interested in it. Some actors might find it very, very interesting. So it's very subjective that way.
Great. Thank you for being so honest here. And another honest question coming up is, I know for a fact that your work has been praised and you've earned a lot of adulation, awards, appreciation on social media and otherwise. There are your fans and there are people who think that while the West has accepted Adil as this brilliant, fine actor who can get into the skin of any role, in Bollywood, though you are working at a great pace, somewhere that think that he's still underused. He's still underutilized. His potential is yet to be tapped. Do such thoughts also come across your mind? Because I don't know. Do they mean that probably he's not playing a lot of like lengthy roles? Because when I saw Pareeksha, there is nothing called
Right.
headlining a film at all, but you were there from first frame to the end, and it was a beautifully made film. And I
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
equally happy when I saw you in Good News in that little funny character. So what is
Right.
these tags
I
of underrated, underutilized, and how do you deal with them?
I personally feel I'm pretty overrated actually by my admirers, and you see these are two different genres we are talking about. I think we must understand it technically.
Hmm.
A Bollywood film industry, most Bollywood films are they are a different kinds of film. It's a genre. It's like you cannot compare Kathakali and Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam and Kathakali you can compare, but Bharatanatyam and Nautanki you cannot compare.
Hmm.
Or Nautanki or Yakshagana you cannot compare. They're two
Right.
different kinds of actors. They're trained for that. Like what they do, I will not be able to do most probably. Like I cannot dance like Hrithik Roshan unless I put in. No, I have to. No, truly, I have to put in maybe next 4 or 5 years in order to, if at all I can. I have to really work hard, and the kind of physical attitude that they have, that I can do because I'm trained actor and I can get into that. But so this is like, if I'm asked to play a role in a Kathakali production, I'll not be able to do it. So it is also important for people to understand, and for me to understand as well, that I am not interested as well to play a black and white role like that, you
Okay.
know, who does the thing, who does all the things, all the kicks and, whatever songs. And I'm not interested in it. It doesn't inspire me anyway. So, if Indian film industry, especially Hindi film industry, if they move towards more realism, if the scripts are more layered and characters are more real, which is happening now, thankfully,
Yeah.
which is slowly we are getting into that
True.
area of realism, and I'm sure that they would look for me because I'm interested in it. So that's the reason I never went to Bombay after I graduated from National School of Drama, because it never inspired me. Apart from when I was a teenager, that those inspired me. Bachchan Saab inspired me, and Dharmendra ji inspired me. But after a point, I realized that that's not what I want to do. After I
Yeah.
got trained in NSD, read the world literature, dramatic literature. I was exposed to amazing films from across the globe. And after that, I realized that that's not what I want to do. I have a different kind of films which attracts me. So there's nothing bad or good about it. It's just different. There's a beautiful place called Goa, and there is a beautiful place called Shimla. Both are beautiful.
Yeah.
Somebody may choose Goa than Shimla because they like the sea. I might like the hills.
Yeah.
So I'm not comparing one as a better than the other, or worse or good. It's just two different kind of tastes. That's about it.
So overrated or underrated, whatever the case may be, but I'm happy with the kind of films that you've been choosing, and you're not letting that pace come down. So that is a brilliant part. Like in 2009, we saw you in 2019, we saw you in multiple projects, one after the other.
Yes.
Last year was Pareeksha, the little Star Trek, but people associate you with a lot of realistic films, the intense Adil Hussain that you
Yes.
play on
Yes.
screen.
Yes.
When they saw you in
Yes.
Good News, or even English Winglish for that matter, there was a tinge of
Yeah.
comedy or a little different character that you tried. They miss you in those, and they want to see you more of them as well. Does it take a lot out of you as an artist when you step into such characters which you probably can't relate to, or how is it like?
No, I can relate to all kinds of characters,
Hmm.
but I'm talking about the genre is a very different thing than
Yeah.
character. You see, I can play a doctor as realistically, and if the writing is truthful, writing is credible.
Hmm.
You're not doing, even if it is incredible, like for example, if I have to fly like a Spider-Man, but I would make it believable for myself. And I am also getting tired of being cast as an intense actor. I'd like to do some light roles,
Yeah.
but it has to be intelligently written,
Yes.
and seriously written. And best comedy comes out of when the situations are extremely serious. People laugh, but you are doing it very seriously.
Hmm. Hmm.
So looking forward to that. Good News was one of them. I enjoyed playing that, and Akshay Kumar and I had fun. And he's such a sport. And I recently finished the other film, as you have mentioned, Bell Bottom with him, which
Yes,
is
with
a
him.
very serious role again with him, not a comedy. And yeah, so I look forward to those films, those roles as well. As long as I'm allowed to do the way I want to do, and they do allow me to do, because that's why they hire me. Why would otherwise? There are so many actors as well to play those roles in Bombay. I live in New Delhi, so they fly me to Bombay. They keep me in a five-star hotel. They give me a car and chauffeur. They give me a person who looks after me. So why would they spend that extra amount of money if they don't want me to do what I like to do?
Right.
So that way, I'm extremely grateful to all the producer directors who cast me in these, big budget films. I have fun with. and I also pay the bills with that amount of money which come from those films, and I get to do my most precious projects like small films that can't pay much. So
That's beautiful.
yeah,
And very well said that a comedy also has to be intelligently written. And we've seen in the recent
of
times
course, of course.
such great dark humor and black comedies have come out that people are really respecting that genre. It's not just slapstick
Mm.
or something. So I'm sure that maybe, we'll get to see more of you playing those light-hearted roles
I hope so.
sometime soon. Yes,
Looking
absolutely.
forward to that. Let 2021 be my light year and not a heavy dark year.
Adil, you've been very, very vocal about issues that matter and not probably someone who'll kind of suppress his voice or not want to raise a concern, be it gender disparity or be it pay gap or be it color bias in our industry. And in all these years that you have spent, specifically in Hindi film industry, have you seen these
Yeah.
changes happening? Are they happening now? Or at least has the dialogue triggered? What has your contribution been in whatever change that you see around, and what more that you wish for?
I wish for more democratization on pay disparity.
Okay.
I think from the cast, those who are not stars,
Hmm.
and the crew, those who are lightmen and the sport boys, they should be paid more. There has to be much more. The minimum price should be way more.
Okay.
The contribution that they make to a film is huge. But when you look at the figure, I completely understand the two different kind of work. I'm not comparing the work, but I just think that it would be so nice that other crew members are also paid handsomely enough, um, and more female roles, which is happening as well. But there could be more. There could be
Absolutely.
more representation from third genders, LGBTQ genders. And serious, when I say serious, I'm not talking about dark, serious movie. I'm
Hmm.
talking
Hmm.
about intelligently written characters. And I would like to see representation of the Northeast. Like, for example, if there is a character, like, for example, Mary Kom, and with all my respect for Priyanka Chopra's capability as an actor, I have no doubt about that. But Bollywood missed an opportunity to cast an actor from that part of the world, and which would have most probably contributed to the awareness of the rest of Indians to look at that part of the world differently than they look at them now. They are
Well
they
said.
they are teased as Chinese, they're teased as Chinkies, they're teased as that. So that would have reduced that. Oh my God, this is an amazing part of India that people don't know about. And imagine an actor from that part of India would have played in this mainstream cinema. And so Indian audience would have been introduced to that culture, to that amazing richness that Northeast has, and people would have flocked towards those areas as tourists, as to know more about them. They know all about the rest of India, but rest of India knows very little about the Northeast, which is not fair.
I
So
agree.
Bollywood missed an opportunity, I think, not casting an actor from that. So I wish that more filmmakers could possibly take any opportunity to cast actors from that part of the world more and more. Sikkim and Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Assam, and Tripura, and all those amazing, beautiful people. I would say, yeah.
In continuation to what you just said, Adil, here, I agree. I mean, you have raised this point earlier as well. And time and again, every second year, whenever a film comes on something different, like when we saw a movie based on transgender, we saw the same comments from transgender community that why take an A-lister or a big
Yes,
actor, why not a transgender? When a Shah Rukh Khan played a
correct.
dwarf in Zero, there were people who said, why did you not cast a real dwarf?
Dwarf.
But
Yes,
these
yes.
conversations have been happening for a very long time.
Long
Do you
time.
do you agree that it is this obsession not with star culture, but the commercial aspect of a film, that a filmmaker expects that only a big star or an actor can draw audiences to the theaters?
Yeah,
Also need that
that
mark. I mean,
that
it's all
is.
marketing and business in their mind. So how do we really make it look fair?
I somehow feel that there are two aspects. There are many aspects, I guess, but in my limited understanding, I would say that one is that the fear of not being able to get back the money they
Yeah.
spend. That also stems from that fear, stems from lack of belief in themselves. That if I make a good film and if I promote it well, why will it not work? And so I guess I hope that filmmakers of that stature who made all these films, as you have mentioned, you know, the few of them, you didn't name them, but you're talking about the subjects that,
Yes. Yes.
transgender and dwarf. I feel that they could have taken that risk because they had names. They are pretty famous people, the
Mm.
director and the production house. They had the money to promote the film also. And that could have contributed to the awareness of into the awareness of common people, that they look at these people not as the other but one of them, as one of them. So that awareness and that social responsibility, as filmmakers, I would wish that the people will be more courageous slowly. The other thing which is happening, thankfully, is because of the lockdown. Unseen actors are coming and proving their mettle,
Like how?
in OTT
Yes.
platforms, and they are number one. Like Sir, that film called Sir, Tilottama is a dear friend,
Yes.
is trending number one now on Netflix. So I'm delighted to see that this is what is happening. So the star system is slowly changing, and I hope it changes for good. That only people, those who are meritorious enough to play a certain role, they are cast, and that would be true democratization of art. I mean, film art industry. I hate to call it industry because industry produces products, and it's art world, film world.
Film world.
I don't like this word in industry. No, I understand films need money to be made, and you need a lot of money to make a film, and they have to make money as well by selling the film. But we take a shortcut and we don't do the hard work to make it work. If you take an example of Life of Pi, for example, so Life of Pi has no star.
Yeah.
Irfan in 2012 was not a star.
Right.
He was known very little in the West in 2012. Tabu was not known in the West. She most probably had done Namesake, one film. Don't even think of me because that was my second film. And Suraj Sharma was absolutely not known. The only person who was known in that film was Ang Lee. But Ang Lee also made other films, did not work
Hmm.
the way Life of Pi worked. So it's the film
It's a film. Yeah.
which
Absolutely.
works.
Absolutely.
Is the star is the film, not an individual. So that realization has to happen amongst the Indian filmmakers. That is the film that you focus on. Don't take the shortcut by casting a star and make a ordinary script sell, because that is a disservice to the society, because you're depriving the audience from seeing good content, and by doing that you are not allowing them to grow as people, as audience, towards finer aspects of life. I think that is slowly happening now because of the OTT, and thanks to the lockdown. In a way, there are unfortunate things which have happened. There are businesses have gone down, but one silver lining to this lockdown is this: that people are now looking forward to content oriented narratives, which is a great sign.
So, Adil sir, just before we end, I need to ask you two more things. You just mentioned about the OTT boom that the world is witnessing, especially during the phase that we were all in, the pandemic, the lockdown. Is there that worry? Because I've been asking this to a lot of actors that I've spoken to. Everyone is definitely raising a concern about being called the OTT star, the OTT actor, the OTT
Hmm.
sensation. I mean, why is this
Hmm.
categorization even required? It's an actor. That's a different platform they're working on. So not that tomorrow they will not be seen in the
I'm
big screen.
I'm cat I'm categorized as a character actor. So,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
too. Initially, it was parallel
so
cinema.
so I think it's a human tendency to box things. You know, it's every human being has it. How is this guy? Huh, this that type of guy. How is that area? Is that type of area? How is this? You know, so we have that tendency within ourselves, and unfortunately, people those who practice art should not have those. You know,
Yeah.
categorization of people or films or um, but it's an evolutionary process and it's very slow. You know, we have to slowly understand that actors are actors and they can do anything they want to. If they are interested in it, they would learn how to do it. Different kinds of roles. Like there are three kinds of actors that I was taught when I studied acting. You know, here in India and abroad. I got a scholarship to learn acting in England. So I was told that there are three kinds of actors, which is personality actors, character actors, and demonstrative actors.
Okay.
Demonstrative actors are those who do mime and kathakali, so they demonstrate emotion. You know, personality actors are those that they don't change their personality in accordance with the character, but they change the character to fit into their personality.
Okay.
So most actors in the world, including in India, are personality
Personality
actors. They have
actors.
found a persona which sells, which works, and they are happy to play it. So that, and if you're interested in it to do it, then it's okay. And the character actors are those who try to change their characteristics to fit into the character that they are playing. So that kind of acting inspired me, or it attracted me, and I try to practice that as much as I can, depending upon how much time you're getting to prepare as well. So categorization of actors as OTT actors and single theater actors and multiplex actors of films, you know, I guess it has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't have its place because it is happening that way. But to categorize it and to fix it and to nail the box is what we should not do, because there are amazing actors can cross over everywhere, like, you know.
You've been doing that, and very beautifully, I would
Well,
say.
I am lucky to I'm lucky to be doing it, and I'm lucky to be cast as well. And it's my dream to not to be labeled. I put a 5-year moratorium on playing police officer after I did 2 roles as police officer. After that, I put 5-year moratorium. You know, that I'm not going to accept. And believe me, I got hundreds of offers to play policemen in Bollywood films. And I didn't do it because I know I'll be the next Iftikhar Sahab, you know.
I
So
understand. Yes.
it is difficult. It is difficult. And when you don't have money and your finances are dwindling, you know, then people take up. So it's out of fear. People don't mind to be boxed as long as they're earning, and that's sad.
In this pandemic, of course, we all were exposed to a lot of world cinema through these OTT platforms. I was very lucky that I
Mm,
could watch
mm.
your film, What Will People Say? And I totally,
Oh,
totally,
beautiful
totally
film.
loved that film. I must say it was
Yeah.
well made, the kind of emotions it evoked and the kind of message that it was trying to give, well made. And the fact that you even got a Norwegian Film Festival award for that, for being the best actor, right?
Right.
That
It's
was
a
the first
national award
time.
of
That
Norway.
was the first time there.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
two things here. Do you seek that kind of validation back home also at all? And do these awards, international recognition, because Delhi Crime also recently won an Emmy and you've been a part of the series as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So what
Right.
is your take
Right.
on the entire award culture, especially
I
nationally? and how does it function back home?
I think that when it comes from a very credible body of organization, then it feels good, because then you realize that you're in the right path.
Yeah.
When I trust someone, when I trust my teacher for my criticism as an actor. The only person I trust, two teachers. Rest of the praise or criticism, I do not. I read it, but I don't take it seriously. The only person who I completely trust is my teacher, who lives in Pondicherry. That if he says, Adil, this is what has happened, and I'm like, oh, what can I do? And rest of the praise and criticism and criticism, as I say, I would take it with gratitude, but I do not take it seriously to work upon it till I hear it from my teacher. Similarly, Scandinavian actors, I love them. Scandinavian actors, Russian actors, Polish actors, they're amazing actors. The kind of acting that I like the very understated, very, very internalized actors. And when I got the award, I got two awards actually in Norway for the same role. One is called Kosmorama, which is by the industry. It's like the Oscar of Scandinavia. The entire Scandinavian film fraternity, they vote for it.
Okay.
And I was nominated for the same role. I was nominated as the supporting role, and I got that award, Best Actor in Supporting Role. And then the Norwegian National Award, I got the Best Actor in the Leading Role for the same role. So, and I trust that body. I trust their judgment. So when it comes from there, it feels that, oh, that means what I'm aspiring for as an actor, so I'm in the right path. That they recognize that, the inner workings, the subtle way, as subtle as I could. And otherwise, in Indian situation, well, I'm not very, very, how do I put it, to put it politically correctly, would be that I've heard so many stories of all these award functions that I'm like, okay, of these award ceremonies, and I have seen and I have been, are you coming for the award? If you don't come, you don't get it. So I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm not saying all of it, but most of it is quite often like that, I heard. So I've heard inner stories, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even need an award if that is the situation. Thank you. Just spare me and bless me. Thank you very much.
You're getting the reward from the audiences, isn't it?
I'm getting so much love from the audience members. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, Adil,
most important award I get when I get it from my teacher. Like, Adil, you have done so well. I'm like, that's more than enough. Yeah.
That's nice. So how's 2021 looking like in terms of work? What releases? Is it going to be like a packed year, or do you plan to take it a little easy and have some breaks as well?
I would like to have a break after August, September. I'm supposed to do a project in April. That is a very, very challenging, I think the most challenging character I've ever played in my entire film career, if you call it career at all. That's a real life character. I can't talk about it much. It is going to be produced by two Oscar winner producers. And I'm playing the lead in that. So it's very challenging, and I need to work on a lot, and which is coming very soon. So as soon as I get out of, in fact, I'm happy that I'm confined because I'm working on it. So it's great.
So that's all that's coming out in 2021, or are there more releases lined up?
To shoot, there could be one more, but I would like to start preparing the play that I've been dreaming about since last 25 years. A play which is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, my dream roles, to play both the roles by myself. So it is the most challenging thing, I guess.
So let's end this conversation by having a little trivia about this play that you just mentioned. What is the stage? Where has it reached? Are you writing, still conceptualizing, or casting in your head?
No. It's written, and I am working on the text already with my director, writer friend. Yes. So it is in the first stages of exploring the text, and there could be many stages, and I wouldn't know when it will finish. So we don't have a deadline. We have a
Okay.
deadline of quality, but we don't have a deadline of performance. Yes. As soon as we feel that, okay, now we can share, I'll start sharing.
That's a beautiful approach. And Adil, I really, really hope that this year turns out to be another beautiful year in your career and personally as well. Have a blessed year ahead. Thank you so much for this chat.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so much for inviting me.